Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nicole, and I'm joined by Christine Martin from Rippleffective to talk about how to reduce stress, overwhelm, and anxiety by reprogramming our brains and putting our bodies back into relaxation. That sounds amazing. Christine is an author, counselor, and advanced EFT practitioner. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, Christine, and welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. I just love what you do too with the barefoot break. It's just really talks to me.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And I think that's why we connect so well around these amazing things. But this might be the first time that people are hearing or learning about EFT. Can you share what it is and how it works?
Sure. So EFT has started back in 1980, and you use acupressure points on your body, a bit like what they use in acupuncture, but we don't use needles. We just use our fingertips to tap on those acupressure points. And it helps us to really calm the whole nervous system, because the endpoints of those meridian lines that we tap on, they connect to our emotional brain, and they really calm the amygdala. The amygdala is that fight and flight response, that alarm bell that rings when we perceive danger, when we think there's something going on, when we experience some kind of fear, wherever that might come from. It could be at work, when you're in a meeting and you feel like, oh, somebody's looking at you and they mightn't really accept what you do or how you do it, the way it comes across. And straight away, the amygdala starts firing. And we sort of in that, oh, I wonder if I said the right thing or whatever it is. It can be with so much going on, and the stress around time. There's just not too many, there's not enough hours in the day. All different sorts of fear factors that come up. And they put stress on our body.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
Go ahead.
So EFT kind of just calms your brain. Is it your brain down or your body, or a bit of both?
It connects both together. You can't really separate the both.
Yeah.
We do a lot, unfortunately. We often disconnect from our body and just stay in our head. And you know that feeling when we go round and round, things go round and round in your head, and it's really hard to find that centering. This is why I love EFT, because it really brings us back into the body. It's got quite a few components in it. A cognitive part, a sensory part where we touch our body, so we actually come back into our body. But the energy that we create has that calming effect. We sort of, through the meridian lines, when we tap, it really helps to calm the whole system. So what I would suggest is just to maybe do one round with tapping and breathing, just so people can get a feel of it, and then we can keep talking. What do you think?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Yeah? Okay. Normally we tune into a problem, so you might just want to check in your body. That's always a very good start. Have your feet on the ground and just take a moment to tune into your body. If there's any physical things, which helps also, EFT can also help with, any tension that you can feel, we can sometimes hold some stress. Or you might notice your breathing. And just tune in to see what's going on in your life right now. And the easiest way to tap, if you haven't done it before, is tap and breathe. So the points are, there's one point here on the side of your hand where the little finger is. And we just breathe in and breathe out. And then where the eyebrow starts, breathing in and breathing out. Side of the eye. Now you can do one side or the other side or both at the same time. It doesn't matter. And the breathing. And then under the eye, breathing in. And breathing out. Under the nose, breathing in. And breathing out. Chin point, breathing in. And breathing out. Chest, breathing in. And breathing out. Under the arm, breathing in. And breathing out. And the last point is on top of your head. Breathing in. And breathing out. Beautiful. And then you just tune back in again and just notice what you notice. And it's a beautiful way just to bring you into the present moment.
Yeah. It could also be a really good way to start the day too, right? Instead of waking up and rushing around and getting what you need to get done before you've got to get out of the house, if that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Doing that kind of just, like, I can feel the effects. I'm a jaw clencher accidentally. So that's what I focused on, and it's definitely released. And I came across EFT and yourself only a few years ago. And it's really helped with super stressful situations, whether it's work or home, or friends or family or all of the above.
Yes.
And I myself have used it before I needed to meet with particular people who gave me really high levels of anxiety. And I found that it really just kind of lowered everything and put me into that calmer state, so that I was going in more with my brain rather than with, as you were saying, things are turned on and, ruminating in your head and what if, and oh God, I don't want to, and all that sort of stuff.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's a practice that I do most days too.
Yeah.
Or when you drive to work, when you're at the traffic lights, it's an easy one to do as well. But yeah, first thing in the morning is fantastic, because when we can put our stress level really low to start off with, then whatever happens during the day will just come up a little bit. But if we stressed out already to here, anything happens, it'll put us over the top. And it's really hard to, like you said, even think clearly or whatever.
So it gives us a good set point, I suppose.
It does. It
Yeah.
puts the baseline really low, and to start the day with a really calm body and mind is a perfect way to get going. It can, yeah, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, what about for kids? Is it helpful for kids? Because I know they can experience, a lot of emotions and can get upset quite quickly, which
Yes.
I mean, we all can. But is it helpful for kids too?
It definitely is, yes. I've been tapping with kids as young as 2, grandkids.
Yeah.
But I also use it at school. So children are really often very open to it. It can help them. It gives them the tool to regulate themselves, and they feel quite empowered to do that. Sometimes when they're really in a very heightened state, it might be hard for them, or asking them to tap at that time. But what can help in that instant is that if, as an adult with that child, you can tap. So I often tap and just say how they might feel. So even though I can see you feel really angry right now, you're still a great kid. So you say what's the way it works is you tune into what's going on, and you say that out loud. So whatever the problem is, because what happens when you said we rewire our brain is when we're in that anxious mode or worry mode or angry mode, it's hard to be anywhere else. It's just that. But if we acknowledge what's happening right now, so it brings us into the present, we say our truth, even though you feel so angry right now because your brother took your toy away. You're still a great kid. And you just accept that feeling as it is, because the feeling, anybody would feel like that too in those shoes. So the feeling is never wrong. The feeling is there to guide us to what we need. So we say it. So as an adult, you can just do that in front of them. And you can repeat it, even though you feel so angry right now. You're still a great kid. And then you just tap in front of them. They might join you or might not. But just by watching you do that, it's got a mirroring effect. So it calms their system as well. So when I do, like I said, I sometimes do it in the car. And people worry, oh, that looks a bit stupid doing this, I think to myself, if anybody sees me at the traffic light and is looking what I'm doing, I think, I'm doing this for you too.
Good way to think about it. And just back on the kids' point as well, like sometimes it is quite stressful, and it gets parents can react. People can react in any situation.
Yes.
And does tapping instead of reacting, does that kind of stop that reaction? And
okay, I'm glad you brought that up. When I work with parents and children, it's actually, I suggest every time that as a parent, you tap on what's happening for you when you see your child in that distress. Because as a parent, all we want is for our kids to be happy, for our kids to be settled, and we don't want them to go through hard times. Yet we do them a service if they learn how to deal with that too. But when we get into that state, it's like sometimes even it reminds us of something subconsciously of what we went through as a kid. Like if you were bullied at school and your child comes home and tells you, Johnny hit me today, it might trigger something in here straight away that will fire you up and go to the principal and say, oh, So the best thing as a parent is always to, again, tune in what's happening for me when I see my child having to deal with that. And then you tap on what's going on inside you. Even though I feel really worried about my son, I don't want him to go through what I went through. And you just tap through what's going on for you to bring your stress mode down, because all that has a ripple effect. It is amazing. And that always blows me away. The ripple effect of when we do our work and get our system calm. It is amazing. You would know probably, say if you're really scared of flying and you sit next to a person that's sort of holding on to, dear life, and it's shaking, it would put you off as well. Yet if you would sit next to a person that's so relaxed and half asleep and just looking out the window and having a chat to you, it would have a flow-on effect to you too. It puts your system into a more calm state too. So the more we can stay calm, the better for our children as well.
And often we want to do that in stressful situations, like in a workplace where you're being bullied or harassed, or in social situations if you've got a very toxic family environment, or I'm thinking siblings there, sibling rivalries, or if your child is losing their gear, it can be quite frustrating and also quite easy to lose yours as well. And what this does is it actually calms us down to put us in that state that we want to be, so that we don't lose it and we don't react. Because I know a lot of people, we all do, we really try our hardest not to be that reactive, responsive person, but there's only so much rope we have.
That's right.
But does EFT give you more rope?
Totally.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely, yes. Because it gets you really in tune to what's happening for you. Like with parents too, and I have kids myself and grandkids, so you worry, especially when you're out and about. You might be more okay with the kid showing their emotions at home, but then the pressure is on the social pressures when you're out and about. What really happens then to us parents is that we feel embarrassed if our child starts crying and doesn't stop. And what will they say and what will they think? And the parent guilt and all that is coming in as well. Yeah. So it's the more we can really tune into, is it mine or is it the child's? And that's something else too. That's not really EFT. That's something else I learned too. That stopped into. But yeah, it comes in as well. It's always tune into you first, and it ripples on as well. But yeah, and when you demonstrate too that you tune into your feelings and you tap in front of your children as well, it is so powerful because really the emotions just want to be seen and heard and acknowledged, full stop. That's all it's needed. It's like the kid, hey, look at me, mom, look what I can do. And as soon as you've done that, or when they hurt themselves, they come and cry, oh, my leg, it hurt so much. And as soon as you acknowledged it and seen it, they turn around and they're gone, and it's like nothing happened at all. And it is just the same with emotional freedom technique. We tune in, we look at it, we see it, we speak it, and we tap at the same time, a bit like a mum would soothing a child. Yeah?
Yeah.
To calm it down. Now, mum doesn't do it for us anymore, but we can do the tapping. And the points, we know they are things that we do anyway. When something happens, we might go like this, or we go like that, or like this, and we do touch those points automatically. So yeah, or do that. Yeah, there are also finger points, and a lot of people tell me, oh yeah, I fiddle with my fingers all the time when something is on.
Yeah.
So it's a really amazing technique that we have that can help with so many things. Like it's used for phobias. It's used for post-traumatic stress syndrome. They use it for veterans in the States. Yeah. To help them with that. Yep. It can reduce anxiety. It lowers the cortisol level, that's stress hormone. It can give you more energy. It can work with physical things, pain. There's been some amazing results with chronic pain that people have used it for. And Peter Stapleton is a researcher in Australia. And we're really fortunate to have her because she's done so much research and studies around EFT. And she's just done a trial on chronic pain. I'm not sure if the results are out yet. She's also did for weight loss. She proved that tapping can help for cravings. So she's done brain scans and used images of certain foods that would, light up in the brain before they started the whole trial and would really fire up. And then at the end of it, they didn't fire up at all anymore when they showed those images. So they don't have those cravings for those things anymore. Wow. And the beauty of EFT too is that it's lasting. So they found with that study, for example, that 2 years down the track, even without tapping anymore on that, they still don't have the cravings for that.
That's great. So it doesn't really wear off.
No, it doesn't wear off. That's right. Yes. That's the beauty of it too.
So I've used it in stressful situations or meetings I'm about to go into. It
Yeah.
would also possibly be helpful for a job interview or public speaking, or really almost anything you don't like to do.
Yes.
Or anything that gives your body that kind of flight, fight, freeze reaction. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had a couple of examples there too for myself when I first started EFT, and I'm so grateful I had EFT then.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with kids, groups of kids, and I had to do an information session for parents. And I knew the parents in one-on-one, I was fine with them, but I had a room full of them in the staff room and the principal there watching. And I had to do a PowerPoint presentation and the information. And all of a sudden, before the closer it got to it, I could feel my tightness in my chest. I could hardly breathe. My heart started thumping, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Honestly, it was full on. So I thought, oh, hang on a minute. I went to the bathroom and I did some tapping on whatever I could feel. Yeah, what was going on in my body, my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my dad had a heart attack. What if I have all those stupid things that go around in your head? Not stupid. They just want you to keep the worry thoughts just want to keep you safe,
Mm-hmm.
but they do go over the top, way over the top. So when that happens, this can bring us into the here and now. Hang on, I'm here, my feet are on the ground, I am safe, I am okay. So you do a few rounds on just what you feel. Oh, my heart is really thumping, I won't get a word out, and the thoughts that go in your head, around in your head, and it totally calmed down. I could still feel it a little bit, but yeah,
A little bit's
it was
okay.
fine. Yes.
It gives you
And
that kind of energy pump, right?
that's right. And like you said, I loved what you say too, to prepare yourself for something too. Teacher as well, being nervous for going into an interview, and I did some tapping with her, and she said, oh, it was so easy. It was so, and it was like a conversation to her then, walking in, having a conversation with the people that we're interviewing rather than the tightness and will I say the right thing and all of that. It
Yeah.
just is, it is body, mind, and spirit. It really goes through all of it together, which is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Often people, when they do the tapping, they notice, and you ask them, do you notice anything? And then some might say, oh yeah, I can really feel that my shoulders, we don't really think of where we hold the tension until we sort of do something. Oh yeah, or like you mentioned, the jaw.
Yeah.
We're not aware of it until we actually consciously think of it. But yeah.
Well, I know that you're have very graciously offered to do a round, and we might close out with that. And I have almost a request from
Good.
parents. So I'll get
Yes.
to that in a second. But is there anything else that you wanted to share, or if people are interested in finding out more, how can they get in contact with you?
Great. Yeah. You can get me on Rippleffective at gmail.com. I also want to mention there is actually the annual Tapping World Summit coming up.
Oh, great.
And it's free. And it starts on the 27th of February and goes to the 8th of March. And it's put on by the Tapping Solution. The Tapping Solution is a really great spot to go to. They've got also an app that you can use on the phone. And Nick and Jessica Ortner are beautiful presenters, and they do an amazing job. So yeah, that's coming up. If you're interested to find out more, they've got lots of different speakers, 2 speakers a day, and it's a great way to just learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll include some links to your details and also to that. So thank you very much for that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So
the requests.
Yes, I have a lot of friends who are parents.
Yes.
And they have recently and not so recently have had issues with kids, or their kids being quite aggressive, or saying I hate you, or just getting into that kind of high emotional state that you can't really talk them down from. And it's just them, you know, a lot of them are quite young. So obviously they don't really know what they're saying, but they're getting their emotions out through these words. Or maybe they're throwing things, or maybe they're, you know, just having a tantrum. Can we tap on that? If this was the parent who can't console their child, can't, you know, talk reason or have a conversation, which is often all of us in that stage.
Yes.
Are we able to share with parents what they could do, and even if their kid maybe doesn't want to join in with them, what they could do, like you were saying earlier, to try and diffuse the situation so they don't react, and can help, you know, calm everything down? Is that something that we can, have I explained that okay?
Yes, you have. Yes, I'm very familiar with that. I have been personally through it myself, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. So in the heat of the moment, I would suggest the best thing to do, if you can, is to take a moment to yourself. And even if it's just to walk out the door and take a big breath. Like breathing is part of it too, and we forget to breathe, and we're so engrossed in that, and we get so entangled in that that stepping physically away from it a little bit can help you already. And then just notice what you notice within you, and you can do some tapping. If you don't want to use words, you can do the tap and breathe that we did. So I would always start with yourself, with what's happening with yourself. Tune in with what's happening at me if I see my child go off the rails and yeah, get really angry and aggressive and doesn't know how to. So the worry is he won't calm down. So we just say that. So we tune in of how big is my worry, and you give it a number and you rate it out of 10. If 10 is as big as it is and 0, it's not there at all, you give it a number just so we know where we're at and if it changes at all. So we start here on the side of the hand and you might say, even though I'm not sure what to do, he's throwing tantrums and it's not reasonable, and I wish he would stop right now. And even though he's just going off the rails, and I'm worried he's going to hurt himself, hurt others, or hurt the things that are around him, and I'm not sure what to do. And even though he's losing it again, I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. This worry I have, will it ever end? Will he end up as an adult throwing tantrums? I'm so worried. I've got this worry, and I'm not sure what to do when he's like that. I feel helpless right now. I'm not quite sure what to do. I wonder if he'll calm down. Will he ever calm down? Part of me knows that he will. And part of me wants him to stop right now, in this moment, because I feel I can't take anymore. So I choose to take care of myself. I choose to notice my feelings. And I choose to stay calm. Because when I can stay calm, it can help him too. I choose to take care of my own feeling. I'm there if he needs me. And I allow the emotions to go through him. Whatever he's feeling right now are his feelings that he's trying to express. And he's learning. He's just a kid. So I choose to stay calm. I choose to take care of my own feelings. I choose to take care of my own anger that might come up, because that's the best thing I can do for him. I model how to take care of my feelings. And that is the best thing I can do for him right now. And I accept how he feels. And I accept how I feel. And I choose to take a moment to just take a breath. And I choose to know that he will stop when he's ready. And I choose to let it go. And be there for him in my calm way. And take a big breath in. And you just tune in again and see what you notice.
And I think by that time, and if you do that in front of your child, then watching that, everything would calm down. I mean, if we taught this as, 101 in schools and 101 in workplaces and, conflict management,
Yeah.
how much better the conversation would be, and that reaction time would be, much more limited, rather than, a lot of the fight that we might see. So
that one is tuning in on what's going on for yourself. Another way to tap in front of kids is to tune into what they're feeling. If you know what got them to that point, you can just talk through it, even though you're so upset because, and if you know what it was, because if they get their feelings heard and seen as well, it brings them down as well with that heightened state. Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong around the words, is there?
No, you just talk it out. You just tune in what's going on within. It's just tap and talk, really. And you don't be afraid of going to what we call the negative or the more difficult things that we're dealing with right now, because that's something that we normally want to suppress and don't want to look at. And that's the things that really want to be seen. And this is where the rewiring the brain comes in, because when we tune into that part while tapping at the same time, it lets our amygdala know we're safe. I'm okay. I'm here right now. I can feel you. I'm, present in my body, and I'm safe. So when we talk about those moments while tapping, that's where the rewiring comes in. And this is where in time, you'll find, if you practice that a lot, that with time, you'll find there's not much that gets you to react anymore. You're more in that state where you can respond, even if your child has a huge tantrum.
It really allows it out rather than suppressing it in, right? Well, thank you so much for your time, Christine. I really appreciate it, and I know a lot of parents will too.
Beautiful.
And I'll put some more details at the bottom of this video so people can get in touch and learn more. So thank you once again, Christine. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Have a lovely day, everyone.